Entity TV. I'm your host, Toya, and today is Communion Sunday, and we're making doggy treats. I know a lot of people ask me about this sometimes, about the dog treats that I make for my dog, so I'm about to just show you what I do. Okay, so let's get into with the ingredients. So here, I just have some butternut squash. You can get this in the freezer section at the grocery store. And I'm going to just take a masher and mash this up. Today I did make some oat milk. Okay, that's what this is right here, some oat milk. And what's left over is I didn't strain it all the way, but this is the remaining oats that got blended up in order to make the oat milk. So I have that I'm going to be adding this into. Okay, but before I do, I don't know if you guys remember when I was juicing and I was starting out with just the apples, and I took the remaining part, the fibers of the apples, I put in the freezer. So I use these in my dog treats. I also use them in their food. It just gives them a little bit of sweetness, a little natural sweetness, and then with the apples, it gives them the same nourishment that it gives to us. So the same thing, like, you know, the fiber, the minerals, the antioxidants. Okay, so all of that gets put in here as well. And I'm mixing this with the butternut squash because it's still warm. And this is still kind of cold from the freezer. So it can kind of help to thaw it out some. In addition to that, I also have here some coconut oil. So I'm going to put a small amount of coconut oil in with this as well. Let me just grab a spoon for that. And I forgot the eggs, y'all. I forgot the eggs. Or as one guy calls, his name is Daryl. He's always doing these like old cooking shows where he collects these antique books. I'll see if I put one of his links below, but he cracks me up watching his TikTok videos. But he calls them eggies. So we're gonna put an eggie in this. But anyway. So we have the butternut squash in there because squash, just like pumpkins and things like that, it helps with parasites. To keep parasites out of your dogs. So I'm going to put a little bit of coconut oil in it, not much. So that's about maybe a tablespoon. Or going the wrong way, sorry. Sometimes I forget this camera goes the opposite of what I do. So I got some coconut oil in there. And I'm going to put the egg in there. And these are... Okay, so I'm bougie about my eggs, just like I am with water, even though I don't eat them. I buy them for my kids, for my son. So these are organic, cage-free. So I got me an egg in there and just getting this all mixed up. Or as Dora says, bate, dog treat stuff. Okay, so I'm going to add this in with the... remaining filler from the oatmeal. Okay. So I got that. Now to this mixture, let's see what it looks like so far. It looks kind of like cake batter, which means I'm going to have to add something else to it. Some fresh oats. So this is just some dried peanuts, okay? That's all it is. It's just a peanut butter powder. So I'm going to add some of that in there, because the dogs like the peanut butter taste, and it's not that much in there, so I'll just add all of it. Another thing I like to add, too, is calcium. So this one is in the form of antler horns that have been ground down into a powder. And so I give this to them as a calcium. So I'm going to put a couple of spoons of this in here. Because just like humans, dogs lose calcium as well. And they like the flavor of it. So, and then I forgot my sea moss. Y'all, I'm forgetful today. Because the dogs can have the sea moss as well. And it does the same for them as it does for us. So sea moss is good to give your pets. I know Sadie will eat it by itself. Like I can just give her some and she'll eat it. And that's the big dog. The little dog, on the other hand, not so much so. So that was about 2 tablespoons, if you can see. And this is a purple sea moss. So I'm going to get this mixed up, and then I'm going to see if I need to add some more oats to it. But all this is going to be like a drop biscuit almost. Now you can make it thicker into dough so where you can cut it out and everything out the kitchen. But this is too thin, so I'm going to add some oats until it gets to the consistency I need it to be, which is just enough to where I can put it on the cookie sheet. And just make sure you break up the sea moss gel. Sometimes that doesn't want to get broken up. All right. A little more, and then I'll show you what it looks like. And then sometimes what I do too is I'll let this sit for a little bit just so that the oats can get rehydrated. Touch more, and that should be it. That should be good. And I don't measure anything if you can't tell, because I use what I have. Okay, as long as it's something that the dogs can have, then I use it. Do not give them raisins. Do not give them grapes. Do not give them the root vegetables like your onions and garlic. They can't have that. What else? Avocado, anything. Don't give it to them. Avocado, anything is a no for your dog. Do not give it to them. Coconut is okay, as long as you don't give them too much. Other stuff like broccoli, don't give it to them. It can mess up their digestive system. Let me think what else. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. Okay, but see, this is the consistency of it. So I can form a cookie off of this. All right. So I'm going to get this stuff put away, pull out the cookie sheet, get my oven preheated. I'm going to cook these on about 350. Doesn't take long, but maybe about 15 minutes. So let me get this stuff cleared away and we'll move on to that. Okay. Okay, so I am back. I got my oven preheated, and now I'm about to put some parchment paper on my cookie sheet, and we're going to get these put on. All right, now what's the difference between parchment paper and wax paper? Well, wax paper has wax on it. It's something that you should not put in the oven. Because of the fact that it is a wax paper, it will melt, and it's going to cause a nice smoky mess. So you want to make sure you're using parchment paper. Parchment paper is for the oven, okay? That's the paper for the oven. All right, so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to just take this mixture. I've put cranberries in here before. I've put blueberries in here before. I'm debating if I want to put some in here. Well, I already got it started, and I got apples in here for them. But just take a mixture, just drop it on the cookie sheet, and then I just press it out a little. And the dogs love this, especially since I make their food, so they don't get a lot of junk treats. Because even the treats that I do buy them, I try to make sure they're nutritious or the better version of it. And you can easily spend a lot of money on dog treats. As you can see, this stuff right here that I made didn't cost much of anything. I mean, you can get a big canister of oats for less than $2, depending on where you go. I know I get a lot of stuff from Aldi because that's where I used to work as a second job. And that's where my son works now. So when I tell him to pick up something or bring something home, it's usually coming from Aldi. So like I said, you can get it for about $2 or less. Get you a thing of oats. As far as the antler stuff, it's lasts me quite a long time because, you know, I don't put a whole lot in here. Y'all saw how much I put in here. So that's probably about, I don't know, maybe 10 of these batches of cookies for them. Yeah, and then what else I put in here? The apples, which is what I use in juicing, so that didn't cost me anything. The peanut, you can use peanut butter. Just try to get the one that's sugar-free. You can use that instead. But that doesn't cost much. That's another $2 or $3. So you see what I'm saying? It's and you can make multiple batches of it. It's not just like a one-and-done thing. You can make like multiple batches of it. Okay, so this is what they look like. I'm about to throw these in the oven for about 15 minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay, so the cookies are finished baking, and this is what they look like. So Make sure you package them in a manner that doesn't let people know that they're for the dogs and not for human consumption. Although if somebody was to eat it, they wouldn't die or get sick or anything. And now for the true taste test. Sadie, come here. Come here. Let's see if I turn this down so you can see my baby. All right. Here you go. So as you can see, she quite enjoys it. So does the other dog, the little one, but he's just not in here right now. He's deaf and can't hear, so I can't call him here. But that's what I give them as a treat. They enjoy it. They eat it. I don't have to feel bad about giving it to them because it's not bad for them. It's very healthy. And that's that. So again, this is a dog treat. Like I said, feel free to change up the ingredients. Just make sure that you are checking to make sure that those are ingredients that your dog can have. So that's Sunday. This is Dog Treats. I love you guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow.